All right, so I just finished watching that Battlefield 6 reveal trailer. I ended up watching it twice. And the very beginning, the first 2 minutes and like 25 seconds or 2 minutes and 30 seconds of the teaser, it's people talking in the background as the president of the United States is about to give a declaration or about to make a big announcement. And people in the background are kind of talking about an attack that the Pax Armada did and how maybe France is leaving and how NATO is under a lot of pressure and it looks like people are separating and it looks like this Pax Armada are a serious threat and they have just created or they have just done something so big that there's a big fallout, a big aftermath now going on, and the president has to address this and has to address the nation of the United States. And that's all I could really gather, because even rewatching it and putting the volume up in my editor all the way up, it was very hard to distinguish some of the things that they were saying. And if I am not mistaken, I think they were also speaking in a few different languages. So it was really hard for me to kind of grasp everything in those first 2 minutes. At the beginning of the trailer, in my head, I was thinking, okay, this is cool. This is an interesting way to kind of get into what's going on. I thought this was actually going to be related or connected to the NATO secretary that was killed in Brussels that we received in the teaser yesterday. And I thought that they were just going to show what happened to that secretary. I thought he was going to be talking. I thought he was going to get killed. And then I thought it was going to cut to black and say Battlefield 6. But as this scene kept going, the longer it got, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, by the way. But I just thought, is this going to be it? Because if this is the only thing that they give us, I think a few people are going to be disappointed. I think people are going to be disappointed because you build this thing so high and so big, and then all you give us is this cutscene of maybe the president about to talk, and then a lot of talking in the background that you kind of got to decipher yourself. And I thought that could be a little bit disappointing, so I was kind of scared, to be quite honest. And then it flashed, and I think it said Battlefield Studios, and I was like, don't tell me that's it. But then it cuts to the president actually speaking, and it starts showing us a few military men cutting the corner in this house, and the president begins to talk about what happened. And he basically goes on to explain that the Pax Armada have attacked, and it looks like they attacked New York City. That is why the key art for the game, you kind of see depicted in the background a New York City that's on fire, a New York City that's under attack. And you see these military men coming forward, headed towards the danger to try to stop it. And a lot of you guys might say this is very reminiscent of the World War III aspect that Modern Warfare 3 back in 2011 picked up with Delta Force in New York. So if you guys are a big fan of that, we've been discussing in the comments for years now, it feels like Modern Warfare and Delta Force bring them back, the New York War. Well, it looks like Battlefield is going to do that. It looks like Battlefield stepping up and taking care of that. I mean, it looked incredible. And now right there at the bottom, it said not actual gameplay. Am I worried that the game isn't going to look good? No, because Battlefield, even back in the day, like even in the early 2010s, Battlefield always had graphics on its side. Like it always looked beautiful. The buildings kind of breaking down, the weapon play, it's always been very good. So I know that it's gonna be good. Even, Battlefield 2042 feels like a nice game, but it's about the execution of the storyline. A lot of the comments in this reveal trailer were talking about, remember guys, don't pre-order. Don't be fooled. The trailer for 2042 was also very hyped. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. When 2042 was coming out, I wasn't really paying that much attention to Battlefield. There was a period in time where I really wanted Battlefield, being a teenager, growing up, and I felt like sometimes they were better than Call of Duty, but for some reason I just never bought it. And when Battlefield 2042 rolled around, I wasn't really interested in it, and knowing that it also didn't even come with a campaign, it really made me uninterested in it. Now, I've also gotten some messages here on the channel that I can't believe you guys are talking about the campaign, or that's what you're worried about. Like, we don't give a fuck about that. We want multiplayer, the Battle Royale, and all the other modes that are coming. And that's valid and understandable because these games aren't really known for like their great campaigns. But what I have advocated here on this channel is that I want campaigns for these military games, that I want these games to be good. I'm looking at Call of Duty and I'm like, why can't Call of Duty make campaigns that can go up against anyone? I want a good, serious, emotional campaign. And I want Battlefield to come back, and I want Battlefield to give us an even better campaign. And I want Ghost Recon to come and give us an even better campaign. So on this channel, we advocate for campaigns, and that's what we look forward to the most. Because when Battlefield 6 finally does release, the first thing I'm playing and the thing that I'm spending my most time on is gonna be the campaign. Replaying it, doing missions, figuring things out, telling the lore, going into character backgrounds. So I'm very, very excited. Like I did mention earlier though, at the bottom of the somewhere in this trailer it said not actual gameplay. So most of this stuff is like rendered and cinematics and stuff like that. But I mean, it gives you an idea of the tone of the game. It gives you an idea of what's going on. It looked like New York got attacked. It looks like the Pax Armada are a big, serious, mercenary coalition, a group, whatever it is that you want to call them. It looks like they're backed by maybe some powerful countries. It looks like they're backed by a lot of money, and they are just massive. They're so massive that they felt confident enough. They felt that they had the backing to attack NATO, to attack the United States, and to go to their home territory and attack one of their biggest cities in New York. It's insane. The scale of it is insane. You got a feeling in this trailer of, again, we talked about it yesterday, realism, maturity, a grounded feel, stakes. It feels like there's stakes here. It feels like people can die. It feels like people will die. It feels like be careful who you get attached to because they might not be here. And there's also a concentration on the war aspect. There's a concentration on the civilian aspects, on the setting, on what's going on, like the globe, the world repercussions that this attack has. When we look at Call of Duty trailers sometimes, and I compare it to Call of Duty because it's like its closest thing. Sometimes the trailer concentrates on Task Force 141, Captain Price, Soap, Ghost, Makarov. They concentrate on the characters, on the individual characters, and then everything else comes afterward. Like the conflict comes afterwards, because what's really important is the Price and Makarov dynamic. What's really important is to see Ghost. But in this one, that didn't feel like the case. This one felt like what's important here is the United States of America, NATO, and the soldiers on the ground, the boots on the ground, and not just one particular unit, not one special forces, not one branch. No, it looks like all of them are getting together. I mean, it felt like a call to America. Like the president says this little line here that's really cool, and then the beat kind of drops and it says, and for Pax Armada, I have a message. It's over. And I was like, oh, okay. And then it cuts to like all the military branches kind of working together, and they're all in the fight. Everyone is in the fight because everyone is needed against this global threat. The world, or the military, or the United States, whatever you want to call it, they're coming together to fight. And it gave you a really good and cool sense. Yeah, man, it made it feel really good. I don't know necessarily how to explain it, but it made it feel good. It made it feel like you wanted to scream, Battlefield is back. They're back. We are so back. And it got you. If you weren't excited, or you were cautious, or you were worried, and you saw this, you probably got excited. You probably thought to yourself, fuck it, I'm a pre-order. But again, a lot of people said, wait on it and things like that, because no matter how beautiful a cinematic trailer can be, no matter how nicely they can put this together, if the final product doesn't deliver, then what's the point? And I'm going to compare one more time to Call of Duty. When I saw the Modern Warfare 3 trailer for the 2023 game, it looked pretty good. You had Makarov, you had the cinematics, you had the real life things, you had Captain Price almost dying. It looked good. Did it look as good as this trailer? No, it did not. But it looked good. And I was like, okay, this threat seems global. This threat seems big. This looks very interesting. But the final product that we got wasn't very good. And again, if you look at some of the build up to Battlefield 2042, it looked very pretty. It looked very beautiful. It looked like it was going to be high stakes. But then you get the game and it really was kind of like meh. It wasn't really all that. So I understand people's reluctancy to maybe be excited or to be cautious. And I applaud that, because it is important to be cautious during these times. Battlefield hasn't really come out with a good game. A lot of people would say for many years. I mean, I've seen some people even say that the last time that they got a real Battlefield game was back in 2016. And if you want to go and believe that, that's 9 years since you got a real true Battlefield experience with a campaign, with a multiplayer, and all that other stuff. But this game as it stands right there, and that cinematic as it stands, looks like it's going to give anybody a fight with that type of campaign. And I'm talking specifically for Black Ops 7. Black Ops 7, are you hearing this? Are you seeing this? Do you see the excitement? Do you see what a grounded military experience and a campaign created by a studio that also has history is doing? I mean, it's pretty hype. Now, obviously, the next step is to see actual true gameplay footage. Some people also have said, well, haven't you been seeing all the lab leaks? No, I have not. I've actually stayed away from that. Not for any particular reason. It's just that they have not interested me so much. I kind of want to see the game and experience the game as much as I can for myself, or official footage that releases. So I'm very excited. But this trailer did get my excitement levels up. I don't know, there's just a really different feel to it, and it's so different than maybe some other stuff that we've gotten with recent COD titles. I do hope, like I've mentioned many times already, that Battlefield can make a return. I hope that this Battlefield is good because I want there to be competition, because competition makes everything better. Competition can only improve COD, it can only improve Battlefield 6, and it can only improve anyone else that wants to jump in to the ring with them. This is incredible, and I want to see more of it. The story, the lore, everything's already starting to build up, and it's starting to seem very interesting and very cool. Something else that I'm excited for is that on July 31st, we get the multiplayer reveal. I'm not going to be a huge player of the multiplayer, but I am excited to see actual gameplay footage and see what kind of multiplayer locations they have and just the build of it. So I am very excited for that part. So I'll be covering that as well. Let me know what you guys thought of this reveal trailer, and we'll see what other things we can break down and find out. And I'll see if I can get another video out either later today or maybe tomorrow.